Hey everyone, it's Joe from ThriveCuisine.com. Excuse the mess in the background, I'm in the middle of doing some food prep, and today I just want to show you guys the best way to prep tofu for a stir fry. I'm making a stir fry tonight, and I figured what better time to show everyone. Let's get started. So the very first thing that I like to do is obviously open the package and get rid of the water. Normally I would do this over the sink, but for the ease of filming, I'm going to do it on this plate here, and I'm going to dump it out. So got the water, just going to get rid of it over here. Okay, and then I'm going to remove the block. And the first thing I like to do to help the tofu better absorb flavor, because I'm going to marinate it in an Asian type dressing, is to press it. I have this tofu press. It's called the Easy Tofu Press, but there's a bunch of them out there. I'll link to this one as well as information on some others in the description below, but I'm just going to use this one. And I do it on a plate. You could also do it in the sink, and I'm just doing it on the plate for the purpose of demonstration. Normally I would do it in the sink so that the water doesn't get everywhere. But when you do this, you basically want to tighten the screws evenly. That way it doesn't misshape the block. And if it does, it's not a big deal. I'm gonna be, for the purpose of a stir fry, I'm gonna be cutting it anyway. So I'll just turn these, get some of the water out. I'll clear the plate eventually. So this is what you want. You want a nice even press on the tofu, okay? And by the way, guys, if you don't have one of these, you can skip this step. I just prefer to do it, or you can even make one of these at home, just using, you can use 2 plates, something heavy like cans or a book, some paper towels, and you just kind of gently put some weight on the tofu until it gets rid of the water. Okay, so this process takes about 30 minutes. You can get away with it a little sooner, but I'll just come back, tighten these screws a little bit, and I'll check in with you guys when it's all pressed out. And so while that tofu is being pressed, I'm just gonna prep the marinade, and I start by prepping some scallions or green onions. I just like to get a very rough and thin, sorry, thin is the better word, a thin chop on there. And I probably won't use all the scallions because this is a lot, but just gently slide the knife, try and make as thin slices as possible. That's probably good. You can use as little or as many green onions as you want. And then I'm gonna use about equal parts soy sauce, tamari, or Bragg's. In this case, I just have some regular Kikkoman soy sauce, so I'm just gonna pour it in. And I'm not gonna let this go to waste because I'm going to be using this later to actually season the stir fry itself. So I put the soy sauce in there, and then I have rice vinegar. Sorry, I'm gonna show you guys. I prefer to get one of these big tubs. I usually buy it on Amazon. It's usually much cheaper than in the grocery store. We really only have generic grocery stores by us, so the bottle of rice wine vinegar that I use for Asian cooking is way too expensive there, so I like to just buy it in bulk. So let me pour this in. I like to do about equal parts. And if you find that you need a little more when you put the tofu in, it's not a big deal, just throw it in there. And then I like to just do a sprinkle of sesame seeds. That should be good. And if you have sesame oil, you can also use a drop of that. You don't really need too much. And when the tofu is done pressing, I will show you what I'm gonna do next. Now that the tofu is all pressed out, you can see how dry it is. I'm gonna cut it into cubes. You can also do strips, but the idea is to maximize the surface area of the tofu, so when it goes in the marinade, it absorbs a lot of the flavor quickly. So to cube it, I just do 4 like that, and then I turn it like this, and then I go right down the middle, turn it back over, and then just cut cubes. can see how the texture of the tofu changed from pressing it. You can see it's a little more dry and just ready to absorb all that marinade. So let's get it in the bowl. Now I would just make sure that all the tofu is covered. And from there, I'm gonna cover it up and throw it in the fridge for about an hour. The longer it sits, the more flavor it's gonna absorb. You can really even do it overnight if you'd like, but I'm gonna let it sit for an hour since I'm making the stir fry tonight, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna do next. After you're done marinating, just lay the tofu out on a sheet pan with a piece of parchment paper, or if you know it's not gonna stick, you can do that too. And then I'm gonna put it in the oven at 350 for about 30 to 40 minutes, or until the tofu is a little bit crispy on the outside, but still soft and chewy on the inside. So I'll come back and check what that looks like when it's done. All right, so they've been in the oven for around 40 minutes and they're ready to go, ready to throw into a stir fry. I mean, they're delicious like this if you want to eat them, but I would just throw these in at the end after you've added all the noodles, rice, veggies, whatever else you're adding to your stir fry, and they will stay crispy, still absorb a little bit of sauce, and they're absolutely delicious. Yes, I know I'm wearing a different shirt, and that's because I did this over the course of a few hours. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to click the thumbs up and the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you get notified when I post new stuff. And hope you guys have a great day.